talk about myself. Jerry didn't really get it the last time. I'm going to talk about it right now. My name is Joe Anthony Harris. I'm a fourth-year student at McGill University in Montreal. And my major is anthropology and cultural studies. I created a company about 4 or 5 years ago called Sirius International Defense Contractors. My mom is CEO and I am the corporate secretary. What we're really all about, we help to draft national policies, government to government, but also for NGOs in matters defense-related and national security. But we're also into civic engagement, so we go to NGOs and we go to schools in order to provide support systems and help them with their goal and their missions in nation building and national development. I wanted to create this company specifically to meet those criteria because I see our country and the region being in dire straits and we need to do something about it. Our politicians, unfortunately, are not really doing anything much, so I have taken for myself and my mother to help steer the country in the right direction. I have been editing and contributing to 2 books that you can see right here on my left. The Twilight of Omnipresence, which was published in 2015. It took us 5 years to write and to edit. It's really about the notion of U.S. superpower and why the United States of America will remain the dominant superpower in the 21st century and beyond, despite the fact that it's in terminal decline. And the first book that we wrote together is The Art Barrier of North-South Dialogue. It's about the importance of multiculturalism in the region, especially as it pertains to 9/11 and the U.S. non-involvement in the Caribbean region as a whole, and the need for CARICOM and Red Caribbean Islands to work with the United States as a core group in solving matters of security and national defense. Are you clear on that? Yes? I'm also the second cousin of our Archbishop, hence the name Harris. My mother used to be the country's High Commissioner, right? So I have quite a hefty background. What I would like to do now is get back to the discussion of manhood. Manhood in the Western world is based on 2 principles: active participation in politics and labor. What I would like to do is to ask you, what do you think the meaning of participation in politics means for you? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide you into groups of 10 like the last time. So you can sit in one.
Is the air conditioning on?
Yes.
Future? Yes. Excuse me. Manners make it man. Remember? All right. Okay. Next group.
Alright, so what we think politicians, or what we call politics, should possess or should be educated. He should have some level of honesty. He should possess some morals. He must be humble. He should be a good leader. He must he should possess good ethics. He should be ethical. He should be able to speak well. He should be able to be just and have let's be fair. He should, right? They should possess some level of discipline. They should be open-minded and disciplined. They should have the ability
to recognize and identify social
issues.
Be it.
Very good. Yeah, that's correct.
Politics, well, we had our involvement in politics. We had voting, speaking out on nationalism, patriotism, analyzing politicians and their plans for the country. Well, on those, a politician should have what should be able to do. They should have some sorts of leadership skills. They should have an idea or a vision for the country. That's the way it should be governed.
Two things. Patriotism and leadership.
A politician has to be honest. He has to be able. Create good foreign policies. He should be focused on equality. He should be unbiased. he has to be somebody who can relate to everyone, from poor to class to rich. And he should be focused on social policies and creating sustainable development.
You know what that means, by the way?
Huh? Yeah,
What do you think?
huh?
What do you mean, Steve?
It means not developing something that's going to last 2, 3, or 4 years. It means something that our children and their children can have.
Based on conservation, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
Why do we want to course of action in order to meet the future, in order to make our good long-term decisions in the future? You have to be able to delegate in order to manage the resources of the country, in order to use the
Very good. Last group. Anything? Right, this last group. Big deal, big. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. I like that idea. Visionary. Other politicians, unfortunately, do not have vision. Very good. Do you agree with that? If you don't agree, I'm only here to hear it. Anybody? Anything you did? With an opposing view? Anybody? All right. I think that means that we're all on the same page. That's good. But politics is about consensus building. Not so? Why do you say that? Because we live in a multicultural society made up of different ethnic groups. Ethnic groups have different interests. And therefore their politics will vary. Not so? That's correct. Now our politics have been molded by the circumstances of our environment and colonialism. The French made our country the greatest. They would want to the culture. They thought something happened to slaves. That's why in some places in the country have French names. Like, what's that? Sinclair. As a matter of fact, Sinclair was once the headquarters of French Creoles. That's so. It's why Archbishop Palace is there. It's why the Prime Minister's mansion is still there. It's why Queen Royal College is there. I'm explaining to you why things were, right? Good. So it's important that the culture comprises different groups, different interests that we work out differences together. But that also means making compromises and sacrifices at the same time. Now come back to the theme of manhood. What does that have to do with manhood? Manhood very much tied up with politics, but also with labor.
a living wage. If you do not own a living wage, you will not be a man. To be a man, you have to go out there and make a wage with an employer who gets to decide how, when, and where you work. If you take it upon yourself to engage with the world independently, you probably would not be considered a real man. Is that a problem? Or is that a norm? What do you think about that? That, gentlemen, is a problem that men face around the world. So if you do not fulfill or in alignment with these core ideas and principles, you find yourself marginalized. Hence the name of my workshop series, Emasculated. Right? Okay, getting somewhere. You're getting somewhere. What else do you think manhood has come to besides politics? Anyone? Yes? All right. What about citizenship? What about citizenship? What does that mean to you? As a young man? Anyone? Yes? Gentlemen, being responsible, obeying the laws, yes. But citizenship is not just about obeying laws, isn't it? Citizenship is about service, like what I am doing. I am doing a service to you, until it's like what? Active participation. What else? Collaboration. Yes. Consensus building. Respect. Giving. You mean reciprocity? Reciprocity. I give you something and you in turn give me something. I love you. That's all right. That is fantastic. In the real world, that's not how it works, unfortunately. And that's why men are shooting themselves up. Excuse me. That's why men are shooting themselves up. Getting crime. Because they don't think that they're getting respect. They think they're getting short end of the stick. Right? I want to talk about the way in which manhood is scrutinized and examined, not only in the West, but in all parts of the world. The Caribbean. How do you think we are assessed as a group, especially by women? How do you think? What do they look for in a man? Yeah. You mean full-time? Stable job? Yes. How about income and resources? Manhood is tied to income and resources. Yes or no? Yes. Why so? What happened to the man? is not just a social unit, it is also an economic unit. The family is not just a social unit, it is also an economic unit. Meaning that as a unit, the family, headed by the man and woman, engage in exchange and interchange in the economy. They're not separated or outside the economy and the class. So you can say that the family is a micro economy. That's so? Yes. All right, we're on board now. What about civility? Manhood and civility. What does that mean to you? In the community, in the household, in marriage? Well, I want to hear from you. I'm done one. Yeah. Go ahead. Yep. Very good. Anybody else? Anybody else? Yes? What's that? Logic. What has to do with the family? Logic and family. You mean authority? Interesting. Yes. You hear that? The ability to handle things under pressure. Very good. Yeah, because manhood requires that you adapt to situations, any situation, at any given time. Suppose you are at work and you get a call from your wife, or your brother, or your sister in an emergency. You were busy working on a project, and it calls for your individual attention. You're being paid $5,000 for a project, and all of a sudden you get a call. Hey, your mom is sick. What are you going to do? Huh? You have to come by yourself. That really work. You tell me the story. Yeah. Yes. Correct. That's correct. Anybody else? Nothing on this side? Really? Yep. Got anything to say? Adaptability when it comes to emergencies, immediate response. That was part of Manhood too. Anything with that? That's fine. Yes? Yes, what's the question? we are an aging population. There are not many young people I'd like to think. The majority of the population are aged between 25 and 54, which means that within the next few decades, more resources are going to be devoted towards the elderly, and taking care of the old. Right? If you have a country whose population is getting old, it means that the resources are going to be partitioned towards the elderly. Not so? Healthcare is going to become more expensive. Yes? Like the United States. Obamacare, yes, that's true. So we're not all that different in the United States and country. Huh? Trinidad and Tobago, along with the Red Caribbean, is experiencing a severe unemployment crisis. For males, ages 15 to 24, unemployment is 7.4%. Females is even higher, 9.9%. Life expectancy for males is 69.9 years. Women, on the other hand, are strict men, yet again, 75.9. In other words, they live longer than you. That's something that we have to contend with. Unfortunately, the country is experiencing slow growth rate, starting from the 90s up until the present. Between 2000 and 2011, the population of Trinidad and Tobago grew only by half of 1%. Right? I'm going to talk about the relationship. Gentlemen, hey, I'm going to talk about the relationship between gender and age and crime. High crime rates among young men are linked to differences in economic opportunities. They can be explained by the adverse labor market opportunities. Jobs available for young men and women tend to be low-paying jobs with little or no benefits. Consequently, young men are more likely to be drawn to crime. One way of reversing this trend is to adopt an economic policy based on high minimum wage and jobs that provide substantial income. In other words, it is essential to build a country's middle class. The role of the middle class, gentlemen, is to provide stability in any given society. Without the middle class, we're going to have class of people, what? Tearing at each other, competing, fighting. You see that playing out in the United States of America? When you hear stuff like 100%, what? 99%, right? It's happening in this country too. Only it's being played out within the middle classes. People find that the middle class are losing ground. A few months ago, or last year, I was told about a video on YouTube created by a member of the Syrian community saying that they control the country. Yes? Yes? Is that true? Right. Now we're getting somewhere. What did that mean for us? That's middle class. Anybody? I mean, this and that's what they say. They say they control the economy. They control politics in this country. What does that mean for us? Anybody? Anybody? Yes?
of Marxism. Karl Marx, as I pointed out the last time, Karl Marx is an economist in the 19th century, and he spoke about the principles of class, yes, and class conflict between the wealthy and the working class. We have something similar playing out in our country and in other countries around the world because of globalization. Globalization essentially means that the world is becoming a smaller place due to transition and modern technology. It means that men and women around the world now have to compete against one another for limited resources, right? On a planet whose biosphere and environment is shrinking, is depleting, is being destroyed, and hence the reason why there are all of these conflicts and conversions that's going on in the realm of economics and politics, and playing out among certain classes: the rich, the 1%, and the middle class, and the working class. But there's no sense of what? Symbiosis anymore. Right? Society is becoming more decentralized. Which means that middle class has the important important thing. Gentlemen, middle class, its primary function is to what? To stabilize the economy, but also to keep the forces of conflict at bay. Yes? Good. Good. When it comes to school and performance, young men are really badly off. Non-attendance is highest amongst, guess who? Afro Trinidadians. So you go. 6. And guess who? NGO Trinidadians. 58.5%. Let me know that. I'm making a point here. I'm making a point. The point I'm trying to get at is that while we have high core principles about manhood, in the real world, manhood is being battered and smashed in its big one. Hence the reason why I call the workshop Emasculated. I'm trying to inform you that when you leave high school and you go to university, go to community college, or you want to work in the workplace, so that it is, you can have a host of problems. One of which is unemployment. Right? Gentlemen, if you are unemployed, self-employed, working for an employer, you're going to be messed up for the rest of your life. Pretty much. Right? And that is going to have an impact on relationships. One of the key components of marriage, gentlemen, what women look for in a man, not only income and finances, but employment.
Youth who experience a sense of hopelessness or who believe that they are oppressed, are being treated unfairly, and do not have a stake, right, in the social landscape, and are most likely to be even be at risk. The second point he makes, the formal education system like high school, university, in the present form lacks tools to manage and to resolve these issues. One of the problems that we face in the country is the lack of technical schools, which help to promote the development of skills like engineering, electricity, masonry, and carpentry. Another problem that we face in the education system is the lack of diversity in school curriculum. In the sense that there are too much focus on grades, there's too much focus on tests, and not enough on creativity. Yes? All right. I come to the end of my part 2 of the session. And I'm moving back to part 3. At some point in time to release.
Go, go.